Well, hello again. This is Hero. What are we looking at? Well, this was the triple air layer wild olive. And this is an update. And you're going, wait a minute. It was a triple air layer. There's the mother part in the middle, and there's only two. How can it be triple air layer? Well, it was a triple air layer, but one of them died. Well, you know, when you run a nursery and get busy, you forget to check, and the top part, the skinniest part, didn't get water for probably a little while. It might have been almost a week. So it's dead looking. Well, I'm pretty sure it's dead, but I put it in my hospital and hoping that at least it will come back out at the base and maybe okay. But basically now I got 3 pieces instead of the 4 that I started out with. And that's sort of the reality of doing anything, right? Occasionally you fail. And that's what happened with this triple air layer olive. So anyway, I'm going to service all these. Let's start from the younger one, the youngest one being gone, and then the younger. So this is the second from the top. That's to our left. And then as we go, the oldest one is to the right. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, before I get started on the actual work, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Basically, the shape is coming along. The olive has this habit of suckering at the base. So I'll take care of those. No use you watching me take all those off because it's just a tedious process. But I'll go ahead and show you what we do on the top part, which is not that much because it's really coming along now. Okay, the sucker growth has been removed, and now we get to actually developing the style. Well, you could see that it already has a good movement and taper. What we're working on is the individual branches, and basically not much to those either because all we gotta do is to cut these. This one's not even like these, right? These that's going up, and then we want this to come down this way, so we're just gonna encourage these to grow. Basically, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, up here. Oh, the other day I was talking to Big John. He's been in he was one of my students many, many years ago. And he went on and he was prominent in the bonsai circle. And he was saying that, you know, a lot of he's done his share of demo like I have, actually probably more than me on live demo. But he was saying that, you know, it's quite boring to watch people prune or wire. I mean, like the sucker removal part, I didn't even record it, right? Because you've seen it done before. But can you imagine you're watching a live performance, somebody up on stage, take the first 15 minutes just taking these suckers off. Also, the other problem that he and I discussed was, you know, people in the back can't see what's happening. That's why I really like this format where I could show you in fairly good detail, although a few times I failed. The camera failed because I said it wrong. I think in the past, I think there was been a few that was kind of blurry when I got close. Well, that's another one of those where, because I shoot alone, that I can't catch it in time. in the editing, I'm going, oh my gosh, this thing is not completely bad, but it's not in good focus. Well, hopefully I'm checking enough times. Well, I've made all my share of mistake, and I probably will continue to make more. Got it pruned. This branch on the left, well, it's straightforward now. It's coming around, it's going to be on the left. That it could be a sacrifice branch where I just cut it off later, but I try to incorporate it in the design so that it acts as a part of the design process and as a sacrifice branch. And you can see that others that's kind of taking up the blank space on the trunk, that's truly a sacrifice branch. But this one on the left, it could be either a sacrifice or just part of a design as a double trunk. This one is shaping up nicely. Yeah, I think this is at the point where it could go into a nice pot really soon. And once again, look at all the sucker growth. So I'm not going to burden you with having to watch me cut those off. I'll just go ahead and cut that off and then get started on the main tree. Okay, I skipped the boring part where I just cut those off. And we'll go ahead and get started and moving this to the next level. Like I was saying, this one already is in pretty good shape, so a lot of little touch-ups. So what we'll be doing is just cutting these. Yeah, I was talking about Big John, and he's started with me probably 30 years ago, and he's made quite a name for himself within our local bonsai circle, but he's getting tired too. Well, so many people want to keep the old way when we should be pushing for more artistic expression. I mean, bonsai should be a personal thing, right? So yes, it's okay to be outside the box and make your own statement. Well, which is okay, except that some people want to be nasty about it, I guess. Well, in any art form, you know, you gotta learn your basics. And after you learn your basics, you wanna get away from the norm and try to create something more original and in your style. Well, found out that, well, I've always had a thick skin, so I could take the criticism. And but John had a tough time initially. Now he's like me. Who cares? I'm going to do it my way, and you know what? Who cares? This one seems heavy. Almost feel like removing it completely. Because see in here, everything's going so well, and then this one is heavy. How about if I reduce it greatly? Yeah, maybe even get removed later. But basically, you know, the basic shape is in there, so we're just doing a lot more refinement now. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it done for today. Looks like we could use a little more help up on top, a little bit busy, but not bad. And then as we come down, we'll get to the base of this thing here. And okay, at this base, you notice that I clipped, but I left a lot of the greenery. If this was going into the show, I would have taken my time and got rid of all that. But what I'm doing is, by clipping it, you could see the trunk, but these become individual trees. And look at over here, right? Looks like another year or two, I could take the saw and cut that off. Still be looking good here. I have another tree. And a lot of these over here, if I take the time, it could become individual trees. So yes, I kind of got rid of enough so that you could see the trunk or the roof flare, but I have other things in mind, which is very commercial solution. I might be able to make more, which is kind of contrary to what I should be doing because I'm trying to reduce my inventory, but that's me, full of contradictions. Okay, this is the base. So this was the part that I took all the other three off, although only two are left because one just happened to die because of lack of water. So once again, I'm gonna get rid of all these sucker growths because it's boring to watch me do this. Okay, once I get rid of the suckers, you can see how big this base is, huh? And once again, I'm not going and remove it completely. I'm just cutting it off so that these might be harvested. And then some of this might be split. I see this right here. Look like in another year or two, we might be able to put a chisel on there and break that off. Yeah, you see me doing that a number of times already. But back to the question at hand, we just want to just prune these and develop this tree nicer. So it's really not that complex. We just are in this development stage. Get these branches to be much better defined. So I'll go ahead and do that and get back to you. Okay, you see this big wound? That's because the tree that was up above was cut off. Well, what we want to do is to let this area really grow rapidly. And then maybe to the point where it kind of loses the shape here. Actually, we want a branch right here and not these. But we're going to let these all grow and get really bushy in here so that this has a chance to roll over and heal itself. It might take 2 or 3 years, but if we take the time to let it heal with this growth here, it would be much better bonsai in the future. So those are the things you got to plan and give it time to do what it has to do. Here's another one that's big, but it's starting to roll over. So a lot of these around here will be what's going to contribute to the healing process. Like I was saying, all these green and like this actually is a separate plant. So I cut them so that people could see the potential in here, but I'm letting it grow back again with a possibility of harvesting things in the future. And I was saying too, this part right here, I think there's a potential in another couple of years to take our chisel and then break that off and have another plant. And I think there's possibility down here. Like I said before, I'm trying to reduce my inventory, so I keep coming up with these ideas where I could increase my inventory. Well, what can I say? So this concludes the triple air layer wild olive, with only 2 left because one part died because the watering failed. But I have not given up on that either. It's in my hospital. The chance of success is looking really dim. But I've seen funny things happen where I swore it was dead and it would come back. So it's not taking up much space, so I have it in there where maybe it will come back. If it does come back, we'll add it to the next update. Although these are starting to look good now, so we may not have an update, or we might have an update with fewer plants. Anyway, this is Hiro saying goodbye. I'll see you again real soon in another chapter. So this was a triple air layered wild olive. It was just too big and nobody showed interest as a Niwaki or the garden variety, so I made them into smaller bonsai. Oh yeah, keep those comments coming. Yep, and whenever possible, tell me where you are. It's quite interesting to hear from people all over the world, places I never even heard of. So anyway, I'm very thankful that you are watching me, and please take care.